And a good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us on 10 TV Plus. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz. Trying something a little bit new this evening. We want us to send your questions during this broadcast on 10 TV Plus as we're tracking the potential for severe weather still 3 to 4 days out. I know, again, we've got a lot of ground to cover between now and Sunday evening and Sunday night. We want to give you plenty of time and also an opportunity to ask your questions as we go through the next 15 or 20 minutes. Again, more questions, maybe a little longer time, but these things are a little bit flexible, so hopefully you give us a little bit of grace and some patience. And of course, our active participation is encouraged, so keep that in mind. So what we're really looking at right now is coming up is something that we saw a lot of last year in 2024, and we haven't seen a whole lot of this year, but things are ramping up, and March could come in as a lamb and out like a lion. You'll notice in our weekend forecast, both days are in the mid-70s. You'll also notice that the second half of your Sunday is that weather impact alert day. That's because the combination, and we'll talk more about this in the next few minutes, of a strong cold front coming in. We're going to talk about humidity, which we haven't talked about in a long time. Moisture is going to be here. We're going to set the stage for the possibility of all the ingredients coming together for some strong to severe storms. Now, at this time, I've moved the when just a little bit to back it up. At 6 p.m. on Sunday till about 2 a.m. on Monday morning. So, and we go through and explain why. You'll see that window of active weather may even be pushed further still toward the wee hours of Sunday night and Monday morning. And that's a problem with the rain, the wind, and the storms. All severe weather threats are possible. Even tornadoes, not out of the question, small chance, but not out of the question. So this is an opportunity for you, being Thursday night, with 2.5, 3 full days to be ready. And again, we'll talk more about that in the coming minutes. One thing we do is watch the severe weather outlook from the Severe Storms Prediction Center. And all they do is forecast on the outlook for severe weather. And we're looking at that potential of scattered strong to severe storms Sunday. And it looks like, again, a pretty broad brush, almost all of Ohio. So we're going to do our best today on Thursday to give you a couple of details to help you, again, plan and watch. But obviously, as that event gets closer, we'll have much opportunity to refine and tune that forecast, and it'll be more accurate and a little more localized. But right now, again, painting with a pretty broad brush. The one thing that we're watching, and will really start tonight into tomorrow morning, is the possibility for several rounds of rain. We haven't seen a ton of rain across central Ohio, but the opportunity will be with us to see several rounds of rain, culminating with some downpours and real heavy rain Sunday night into Monday morning on top of what we already get. So again, layer after layer of rain could saturate the soil, and that's why flooding will be marginal. It's not slight or moderate or high, but it's not zero. So again, we're giving you a heads up. Make sure your sump pump works, got that battery backup working, your drains are clear. Some debris probably from all the wind we had over the past couple of weeks might be in your drains. So make sure those things are cleared out over the next couple of days. Also, you see at the bottom of the screen, there's 2 ways to get in touch with me this evening. One is the text, super easy. Download any texting app, of course, 614-460-3345. Text now, or you can send your questions to the 10 TV Facebook page. We'll be monitoring both of those channels for your questions. I'm sure you're going to want to know what's going to happen where I live, and I'm going to do my best to describe that. But as I said, we're still painting with a pretty broad brush as we look at these conditions 2 or 3 days out. Now, I'm not going to get real deep into the weather lessons in science here, but you'll hear us talk about several things going through this weekend and really this spring and summer, any severe weather season. One of the things we're going to talk about is the ingredients necessary is lift. You heard me mention once, I'll mention it again, and you're really going to feel and see this cold front coming through. The lift for this particular event will be provided by a cold front. Still 3.5 or 4 days away. And one thing to keep in mind with cold front, and this one means business, is how strong that temperature gradient is, or the difference on either side. Mid-70s tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. We'll be lucky to be in the 40s by the end of the day of Monday. So a 30-degree swing. That's just a testament again to how strong that temperature difference and how strong that lift and that front is. Second thing, and we'll walk you through this as well, is the moisture. And there's really 2 ways to get moisture. One is just the ongoing rain and the saturation in soil. But the most efficient way to get moisture is when we see the strong southerly winds, which we're going to start tomorrow late in the day, all day Saturday and Sunday. So several days, a lot of hours, a lot of time to pump in that warm and humid air. Unstable air, and again, 2 ways to really get this to form. And if you bear with me for a second, I'll just let you know that this is something you experience all the time. Not unstable air, but in your house or where you live, a lot of times that cool or that cold air will drop into the lower levels of the house. I don't know about you, but my basement is about 10 degrees colder than the upstairs in my house. So think about that. The other way is to have warm air at the surface that rises. And you've seen that, of course, with a balloon. It's less dense, that'll rise. So unstable air, just like little pockets of air in a boiling pot of water, that's what you get when you have air's instability. And we're going to have some of those temperature differences on Sunday, Sunday night, and even into Monday morning. The final thing that isn't really visible, but it's important, is wind shear. Two ways you can get wind shear. One is like cars side by side on a highway, traveling at different speeds but going in the same direction. That's speed shear. And the other one is directional shear. Maybe you've got the cars on the highway here, but in overpass, they're going in a different direction. A lot of times those happen together. That's really important because you could have those three ingredients and just have an average thunderstorm. You get that last ingredient into the mix, that wind shear, and that allows that thunderstorm to strengthen and stay sustained strong and causes the most dangerous kind. Now, we're going to start Friday morning, not severe thunderstorms, but just kind of priming the pump. Friday morning through about midday, watching the rain coming on through it. A rumble of thunder, not out of the question, but notice in the second half of Friday that we're looking pretty good. That means this is round one. Don't get too excited because by Friday evening, I think if you got plans, they're going to be just fine. A little breezy out there, a bit dry, and temperatures back into the 70s. The other thing we're watching is this initial shot of rain. Now, we're going to walk through a pretty long time period, and these numbers are going to click by pretty quickly, but just focus on where you live and what the changes are over the next 3 days. By lunchtime on Friday, we're looking at just a couple of tenths of an inch, around a quarter inch, and some spots down to the south, you see that blue, Chillicothe, over around Jackson. About a half-inch of rain. So that's a pretty good chunk of rain in a pretty short period of time. Not a whole lot happening for Friday, not a whole lot happening for 24 hours, really. Much of Friday afternoon, Friday night, Saturday morning, we're dry. Second half of Saturday and Saturday night, a little bit of change coming back in. Saturday night into Sunday morning, again, a little more in the way of blue. That's an area of rain, half-inch or more rainfall forecast. Then by 7 o'clock on Sunday through the first part of the day, then we see things getting going. So we're going to have a lot of moisture available with the system. We're going to have saturated soil in many spots. So that's one of the key things we're watching as we get for the next several days is the amount of rain that's going to come on down. Now, let's look at the forecast starting tomorrow, or Saturday night. Again, pretty decent weather late Friday, Friday night, Saturday morning through about midday. Saturday after dark, we're watching this next slug of rain coming back in. There'll be the chance for some thunderstorms, but this is not the main event. The thing about Sunday morning and Sunday midday rain, as we'll dovetail into a longer range forecast, is that the majority of the rain on Sunday, kind of a couple leftovers around lunchtime, but that begins to pass on by. Now, as we expand our view just a bit, Sunday afternoon through the evening hours, we're going to watch that area of rain moving off toward the east by mid-afternoon. There's some lingering showers back there, but what we're not seeing is that front making its way toward Ohio. The other thing we're not seeing in the middle part of the day is any sunshine. And that's really important. Remember we talked about instability at the beginning? With that sunshine during the day, that really gets that cooker going and causes that warm air to rise. That just creates more instability, more fuel for the storms. We really don't see a break in the cloud cover until the second half of the afternoon and the evening on Sunday. That's after sunset, so it really doesn't matter. That front and that system begins to move on through in the wee hours of your Monday morning. So again, we're looking and watching several of these things coming into play, but there's enough things in place that's raising our antenna, our radar, if you will, that we're looking at that second half of Sunday evening, Sunday night, and then the wee hours of Monday morning to have those ingredients coming into place. So the 10 weather impact alert that we've got for you really doesn't start until much later in the weekend. Again, I moved that time a little bit, starting around 6 p.m. before sunset on Sunday, and then going through the wee hours of Monday. The other problem is it's occurring after dark, and it could include all severe weather threats. I mentioned tornadoes. Very small chance, not zero, but small. Chance of hail, again, some downpours, some possible flooding rains, some gusty winds, and of course some lightning. And stay tuned and stay connected. And we're not just shamelessly self-promoting ourselves. This is really, really important because you know as well as I do, if you're watching TV, power goes out, you need to take shelter. You might not have that luxury of a TV with you. Your cell phone, multiple ways to get weather alerts are really, really important. The best way is that National Weather Service radio. So you've got a couple of days to prepare for the potential for severe weather, just like we're doing here. You need multiple ways to get the warnings. You need to have a plan, and you need to be able to take action very quickly and put that plan into place. So that's why we're giving you the heads up this far in advance. So I'm going to walk back over here to the Weather Center. take a look at some of the questions we got, and I'm happy to see that it's not zero. So we've got a couple of questions on the Facebook. Appreciate an opportunity for Sylvia to join back in. Some folks are saying plenty of time to get your home safety kit prepared, candles, flashlights, extra water. Again, really important there, so keep that in mind. Let's check out if we're getting anything on our, let's see, from Troy and Mary, do you think we'll have severe weather epic on Sunday? The question is valid, Troy. We're watching the opportunity again for some of those ingredients coming together later on Sunday and Sunday night. One of the things we mentioned too was the possibility of the severe weather coming at times when we're sleeping, trying to get some rest, trying to gear up for a busy week ahead. A lot of folks either coming back off of spring break or going out on spring break might not be really prepared or know what's going on, whether they're coming and going this weekend. So that's just an opportunity for you to get that severe weather kit and do what you can to keep you and your family safe. So one of the things we really want to stress is that this is not just a one and done deal. It's March, April. We're kind of in the beginning and the peak of our severe weather season here in central Ohio. So even if we don't get widespread severe weather on Sunday, and that's still to be determined, there's always the opportunity for severe weather and storms down the road. So we really want you to take this opportunity to follow some very, very simple advice and take that chance to be prepared. A couple other questions coming back in on the Facebook, Babe. Landon, a tornado outbreak Sunday. Not saying that there's a chance of tornadoes. Yes. There's a chance of hail, there's a chance of gusty winds, severe weather, heavy rain, lightning, thunder, of course, all possible with that storm system late Sunday and Sunday night. And Ashley Phillips asked if we're going to apply a number to this, tornado risk 1 to 5. At this point, I'd say 1. It looks like straight line winds are also a little higher probability. And we talked about the past few minutes about the chance for flooding being an opportunity or a problem as well, because we're going to get multiple rounds of rain. At this point, mainly over the southern half of the state, but it's still 3.5 days out, so we're going to fine-tune that forecast for you. Ruth Ann Toy, excellent question. If it stays cloudy-ish during the day on Sunday, it's possible that we don't have severe weather, correct? Question mark, exclamation point, yes. That's really important to keep in mind that without the sunshine on Sunday, the threat doesn't go to zero or totally go away. It just lowers the potential. So that's something we're watching very closely, along with those other variables coming into play. A couple other questions. Where is this happening? Allie asked. Pretty much anywhere in central and southern Ohio. So it includes the entire 10 TV viewing area. Great question. Why so late in the evening? Asked Kurt. Kurt, really we're watching the timing of that cold front, and what happens ahead of that is kind of be the catalyst and the kind of the oomph for those storms. At this time, that cold front is not expected to come through until after midnight on Sunday into the wee hours of your Monday morning. If that front comes through a little bit earlier, that could be problematic. If it comes through a little bit later, that could actually do us a little bit of a favor by keeping that threat really pushed toward Monday morning. It's not unheard of to have severe weather or thunderstorms overnight or in the morning, but it just drops that likelihood, that probability that we're going to see severe weather or widespread storms. Question, what do you think about Pickaway County for Sunday? I think Sunday, depending on where you ask, let's assume you're asking about the entire day. Of course, our friends in Pickaway County. Early in the day, some showers. Midday through the early afternoon, it'll be windy. Can't rule out a shower or a storm in the middle of the afternoon. But our focus really is shifting toward the evening hours, the overnight hours, and into the really early hours of Monday morning. So that's when the threat, that window, which we try to make it as tight as small as possible. Right now, it's quite a bit. It's about 8 hours between, again, late evening, 6 o'clock, until about 2 a.m. See what's got some basic all of Ohio. Ashley, yes. Do you foresee the tornado risk increasing over the coming days based on different models? Excellent question, Kaylee. Thank you. Short answer is yes. That is really something that, if you go back, actually I'll go back for a second to some of the computer models that we showed, just for a reference point. This particular computer model, if you notice behind me, is kind of, it's a lot of blobs, right? We're focusing on the green blobs. We're looking for some yellow, but it's pretty broad. It's pretty broad. We call this a lower resolution, a longer range model. And let's just put a number to it. The resolution of this model is 9 kilometers. That simply means that anything less than 9 kilometers, which thunderstorms are, for a frame of reference, 10 kilometers is 6 miles, like a 10K. Thunderstorms are smaller than that. So this model has a hard time resolving the real fine features in a weather event, but the larger, the gross features, it does a pretty good job of. So this is a lower resolution, medium range model. This particular model, which I'm going to show you now, is a higher resolution, shorter range model. And part of the challenge as a forecaster is that we are watching, there's more models than you can possibly imagine. I'm going to say there's dozens of them, there's probably hundreds of them. You'll notice that yes, there are still areas or contours or blobs, as I said earlier, probably won't be able to get away from that one, but it's, the cat's out of the bag, that these blobs are a little bit smaller, a little bit finer, a little higher resolution. And these models, the higher resolution models, really are effective 24, 36, maybe 60 hours out. So yes, as we get closer to Sunday morning, Sunday evening, and we get more of those high resolution models in, we'll have a very good opportunity to begin to present a more detailed forecast and then align that threat accordingly, both in time, coverage, intensity. We'll do all those things as we go for the next couple of days. So keep that in mind. Sorry if I'm repeating myself as going through this. Why is the tornado risk so low? Good question again, Kirk. Even though we're going to see plenty of shear, we talked about the different kinds of shear as that system, you need all those ingredients. You can't just have, and we've seen opportunities before where we've had a lot of shear. Remember, shear is what keeps those thunderstorms accelerating, being robust, and also some of those thunderstorms start to spin. That's when we have a higher likelihood of seeing tornadoes. So you can have all the shear in the world, but if you don't have enough instability and you don't have that cold front or that lift or enough moisture, then you're not going to get tornadic thunderstorms. So it's something that we're still keeping our eye on. The threat is not zero, but at this point, it's not exceptionally high. That's something that will change one way or the other, and when it does, of course, we will let you know. Are you planning on being there Sunday night for the severe weather? If need be, Austin, absolutely, yes. And some people, it's worth noting too, see we've got a few dozen folks on the thread, and I've been doing this for a long time. It's not something that we enjoy. I enjoy being a meteorologist. I enjoy forecasting the weather, communicating the weather. We don't enjoy or really get anything out of severe weather events because we know, as was the case so many times last year, that people are adversely affected. Their lives are altered or sometimes even lost. So we do take that very, very seriously. So I can't say I'm excited, but you can bet that if the weather is severe and the threat is real on Sunday, then I will be here with Michael Behrens and we'll be manning the fort all night if need be and watching that severe weather threat. Great. Thanks for answering the question. Sure, bring them on. Tornado risk could go up. I think what I meant to say, and if I can clarify, our understanding and our clarification of the tornado threat on Sunday will become more clear. Right now, we're just kind of painting with a broad brush, and we'll be able to fine-tune that forecast and give you more details, which is what everybody wants to know. Hey, Jerry, what is the threat where I live for this severe weather, for a tornado, for hail, for lightning, for thunder, for flooding? Again, we're just letting you know. We're giving you a heads up now. I wish I could provide that level of detail, but what I don't want to do is cry chicken little. Hey, the sky's falling everywhere. We just don't know that yet. So again, as we get closer to the weekend, it's only Thursday. Got Friday and Saturday to really get some more information. We will, of course, communicate that to you in every way possible, like we're doing tonight on 10 TV Plus. Download the mobile app, a great way to get information. The website, social media, to a lesser degree, but we do put things out there, and of course, during our newscasts. So keep that in mind, and all those outlets are ways that you can get information. Do you ever storm chase? Unsuccessfully, yes. Most of the time, as a rule as chief meteorologist, you don't get to do much storm chasing, and it's really tricky. It's very dangerous, number one. It's very tricky here in Ohio, even though it's relatively flat. We've got reasonably good roads. Unless you have absolutely somebody that is a trained professional storm tracer, we don't advocate doing that. And I'll say it now because you'll hear me say it again Sunday if we get into severe weather threat. We do not want video or pictures of your tornadoes or your hail or your flooding. We want you to be safe. And I know it sounds like I'm being a little soapbox, maybe a bit of my dad coming out of me. Afterwards, if you safely can send us something, we'd love to hear from you. We don't have eyes and ears all over central Ohio. We count on you for some of that, but never, ever, ever even think about, I don't care how cool it looks, or if you want to be famous, it is not worth it. Not worth it. We don't want you to do that. So keep that in mind. So getting a little bit of a wrap, about 20 minutes here. Are you able to show the risk map began for the whole state of Ohio, Austin? Sure. Go back real quick here. I appreciate you being flexible with me. This is the flood potential. Say that again, Nate. Go to 26. All right. So we have about 5 minutes. All right. That sounds good. Good. All right. Appreciate the Temper TV. Thanks, Ashley, especially weather person. No, we try. Can't always. None of this comes with a guarantee, right? You're not shopping for something that you can take back if you have the receipt. We're doing the best we can, again, to keep you and your family informed. Are we going to get hail? Some of that is possible. That was Katrina. Thanks for that note, Katrina. Are we going to get hail? It's a real possibility in this particular storm. The one thing we're going to watch closely, we talked about a cold front coming through. We'll go through a couple of these things in a bit greater detail in the next minute or two. We talked about the overall severe weather threat. And again, this is about as broad brush as you're going to see. That includes pretty much the entire state of Ohio. The one thing we're watching closely, and I'm going to fast forward and advance rather quickly through some of these graphics, is that when you get the wind shear and you get the unstable air, and I'm making some generalizations here, but hopefully it makes sense. A lot of times, there's no cookie cutters. There's no recipe book for severe weather. Absolutely, every single event is different. So it's up to us to kind of pull on draw on our knowledge and our experience, and then aided by the great computer programs and the models that are out there to find out and fine-tune that forecast. But what we're looking at on Sunday especially is we've got the instability, we've got the lift with that front, we're going to have plenty of moisture, is if we can get that wind shear and if we can get some of that colder air coming in a little bit faster aloft. Just like in your house, and I mentioned earlier, like my house too, that cold air, it sinks. And if that cold air kind of sticks behind the cold front by a few hours or by a few hundred miles, it's unlikely that we're really going to see a severe weather outbreak or an event that will produce a lot of hail. But it is the time of the year. The atmosphere is going to be very active and very energized. So yes, there will be a very real possibility of getting some hail. So we're going to walk you through quickly. I'm going to skip past Friday. There will be some rain around Friday midday through the morning. Let's start quickly Saturday night. I'm going to take you right up to Sunday night, Saturday night into Sunday morning. Notice about lunchtime on Sunday, still a couple of those areas of green and some showers and some storms. Walking through that then, this is again still a medium to long range, lower resolution model. So again, this is going to become a little more clear to everybody in the next 24 hours. That passes on by. We do see a little bit of clearing, breaks in the cloud cover, but notice the time of that. That's 7 o'clock. If we get this clearing, which means some sunshine in here in the mid-afternoon, that's a problem. That's going to be more fuel, that's going to be more instability as that cold front works in. You can almost see that cold front in Chicago arcing back toward west of Indianapolis, and that moves in a little bit closer by around midnight to 1 a.m. That's another round of rain. This particular model, and there are many, this particular model does show a general weakening trend, but I'm not buying that right now. I'd rather err on the side of caution, which is exactly what we're doing this evening. So again, we really appreciate all the folks that have joined. Hopefully I didn't overstay my welcome. We got several dozen viewers, both on the Facebook, on YouTube, and on 10 TV Plus. We appreciate the questions a lot. So we're really looking at the opportunity for doing this again tomorrow. We will give you some advance notice. And I do expect to be able to answer your questions in a little more detail. So you've got 24 hours to think of some good questions to ask meteorologists, and we will do our best to answer them for you. That's it for your weather update here on 10 TV Plus. We'll have more online. We're actually having a special edition of 10 TV Plus tonight at 11, since our newscast will be later tonight after the Arizona versus Duke and the Sweet 16 matchup. So tune in to both of those if you'd like. Until next time, until tomorrow, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz. So long and have a safe night.